He gives you the latest sports news, interviews, and life-changing commentary with a smile on his face. Because he wears those ticklish underpants.
Let's get back to the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone.
Breaking news out of Palm Beach, Florida.
Oh, gosh.
This is where President-elect Trump was speaking today.
Oh, no, I hope everything's okay.
I think everything's okay. Does he do daily press conferences these days? I don't know. But he did have an announcement he would like everybody to know about.
An announcement?
He will be upon I don't know the process he has to go to actually make this functionally happen.
Probably harder than he thinks it is.
Probably. But he has announced that he will be calling the Gulf of Mexico the Gulf of America. He says it has a great ring to it. It's appropriate, he said.
It covers a lot of ground, he added as well. Now I'm wearing a Team USA.
It's an ocean. It's really a gulf. It's an ocean. It's a gulf at the same time.
What's it do? What's its purpose? Now I'm wearing a Team USA hat and baseball jersey.
You would be the target audience for this.
I love it. Great idea.
Thank God someone finally did it.
Someone had the stones to tackle the real issues.
Texter Aaron writes in, did we acquire Greenland?
He has a follow-up text that we can't read on air,
but I like it
for several different reasons. Spot on analysis, Aaron.
Not that I know of. Just that we're now calling the Gulf of Mexico the Gulf of America. So
I mean,
a great win for our country.
In the summer, when those hurricanes swoop in through the Gulf of America, it'll now make a little more sense to people where it is.
I'm pretty sure everybody knows where the Gulf of Mexico is.
Well, I think maybe that was the problem. Like, oh, I don't need to evacuate the Gulf of Mexico. I'm in America. I don't need to evacuate my home because the hurricane is in the Gulf of Mexico. I'll bet that's what was happening in a lot of those areas.
I would assume if you lived in that area of the country for any period of time, or you don't live in that area of the country, you probably think, oh, yeah, the Gulf of Mexico. It's right there. The Gulf, as people call it. The Gulf.
That could be anywhere.
It's just the Gulf.
You need to be specific. I think people in Corpus Christi might not know the body of water that's near them.
Thank you, President T.
Thank you.
Thank you, President T. The Gulf of America. But now other people in America are going to be like, well, it did say America, so do I have to take cover when a hurricane is coming my way if I live in Oregon? It's America's Gulf. All right. So thank you. Thank you, President T. It's appreciated. I'm sure that'll definitely happen.
And we got to change all the maps.
That is going to be nobody uses a map anymore, but what happens to schools?
Yeah.
They still have the pull down maps on the board, right? Or all their maps digital and computers these days. Probably. Well, what about globes?
If you eliminate the Department of Education, you'll no longer have this problem.
I know they haven't changed out those globes in several decades in the classrooms. I know they haven't.
They're still Constantinople.
They're still making the teachers buy the globes. You got a BYOG, bring your own globe. You don't think they're not going to change that globe? No chance.
No.
They would never. No. They wouldn't even worry about changing globe.
Rand McNally's excited about this.
It's like Apple has come out with a new iPhone update. This does not apply to the Motorola Razr 3. So I don't know what our kids are going to be very confused. Very confused.
Get on board or get left behind.
From the 308. Is the Gulf of Southern North America and Central America specific enough?
See, that's just confusing. You got me all turned around.
No, but it's more specific. I don't know. All right. Welcome back, everybody.
How we doing?
We're doing really good. We're doing really good. We're doing great. And we are talking about the playoff.
Playoff?
Josh, we have playoff games on Thursday. And they're both big meteor games, are they not?
Oh, this is the big meteor playoff. Sure.
Unless you're Kenneth and you love Notre Dame.
Congrats, Kenneth.
Congrats to you. I was reading through a list of one college football scribe's most wanted matchup in the national championship game. What do you want? What do you want to see the most? And there's only 4 possible matchups in this game. And the last one that he had on the list, this is Tom Fernelli, by the way.
Oh, brag.
Yep, it's a brag. Fernelli said that the college football national championship game that he would least like to see is Ohio State and Penn State. And I said, you know what? I'm a contrarian. I actually think that's the college football playoff national championship game that I maybe would most like to see at this point.
You're such a Big Ten honk.
It's not about the Big Ten at all. And for the exact reason that I think people don't want to see this again, right? It's the familiarity piece. They already played each other this year. We already have seen that. And I think they've played each other every year for like the last 30 plus years, right? They play each other all the time. People don't like to see rematches. But how many times in a national championship game, first of all, have we seen a matchup of teams who played each other in the regular season? I would imagine not very much. I don't know the number on that.
Georgia, Bama. Did they ever meet in the regular? It seems pretty rare that they actually meet in the regular season.
Actually, that might be it's a great research project. I didn't even think of that question before I'm telling you this statement that I'm having here. But it hasn't happened that many times, and more so matchups that happen every single year at least once. Teams that were in the same division.
Connor,
what?
There is a Wikipedia page titled "List of College Football Postseason Games that were rematches of regular season games."
Please tell me more.
Scroll to the bottom here.
Tell me more. Tell me everything.
2025
Thank
Rose
you, Wikipedia.
Bowl.
I'll donate next year.
2022 College Football Playoff National Championship, Alabama, Georgia.
Okay.
2016 Heart of Dallas Bowl, 2012 Liberty Bowl, 2012 BCS National Championship game, LSU, Alabama.
Whoa. Wasn't the 20? Why isn't the 2014 Holiday Bowl on there?
I don't have that on here. Should I? 2014.
2010 Holiday Bowl. Right? Did Nebraska play Washington twice that year?
2010 Holiday Bowl is in here. Yes.
Not a playoff game, notably.
Right.
Definitely not a national championship
97
game.
Sugar Bowl, Florida State.
Right. And so only one of these games has been national championship games so far, right?
Right.
And so, okay, so that would be the closest one. Georgia, Alabama, although they weren't in the same division when they played each other. These two teams, and there is no divisions now, notably. These two teams play each other every single year, no matter what. And they are protected rivals of each other, and they are they were in the same division before the division split off. I think that's a thing that kind of makes it fun. That's something I could sell myself on and say, wow, I can't wait to see the cat and mouse, the chess game between two coaches who we don't necessarily think are very good at chess. Ohio State is on a huge heater right now, but it's not necessarily because Ryan Day motivated them to do that or because they're doing something schematically that now maybe Ryan Day woke up one morning and decided, actually, you know what? We should just throw it deep to Jeremiah Smith every time. That turns out. So maybe it is a bit of a chess match in that consideration. James Franklin, not necessarily be known as the greatest tactician or game manager inside of a football game. So the familiarity actually breeds, I mean, what do they say? Familiarity breeds contempt. So there is that. But familiarity breeds, like, you know, you in the national championship game, there's always like that first 10 minutes where you have this sort of like, not always, but you have this like feeling out period of like, okay, what are they trying to do to us? And you know, what's the punch counter punch going to be and all that stuff. Like, you probably wouldn't have that in an Ohio State Penn State national championship game. That is a fun game to me. I am kind of on board for a big meteor Ohio State Penn State national championship game.
People forget that game was very close this year.
It was
on the scoreboard.
As it is most years on the scoreboard.
20-13 Buckeyes. Penn State led 10-0.
So let's do process of elimination here.
Okay.
I think I'm out on Texas in any scenario. I do not want Texas to be in the national championship game. And it's not just because I have contempt toward Texas. I dislike Texas. It's not just because of that.
Quinn.
It's because I don't think they're anywhere close to one of the best two teams in the country.
I would agree with that in general, yeah.
I don't think they belong there. I don't think that team is national championship caliber. They might win the national championship, but I don't think they're national championship caliber. Anybody, like any of the four teams can win it, which is a cool thing to say right now and something that we don't usually get to say.
That's right.
So it's cool that we have that piece of it. I don't want Texas in the national championship game. I don't want it. Ohio State, Notre Dame. So that leaves Ohio State, Notre Dame. It leaves Ohio State in both of the scenarios.
Mm-hmm.
And we already talked about Ohio State, Penn State. So then we have Ohio State, Notre Dame, which Kenneth earmuffs. I kind of feel like that would be a potentially lopsided game.
For who?
Ohio State. Mm. I mean, there is definitely a Doctor Strange scenario where Ohio State just rolls both of the teams that they're going to play in the next 13 days here, and wins the national championship going away. And then Michigan fans say, "Well, don't care. You lost to us. Remember when we planted that flag on your turf field?" There is definitely a path to that piece of it as well, but I'm trying to find it. I'm trying to find a path that doesn't lead us down that road. So I don't really want to. So we've done process of elimination. We've taken away all of the other products. I've taken away Texas. I've taken away Ohio State, Notre Dame, and I'm left with what I've convinced myself would be the most fun national championship game. Ladies and gentlemen, go Bucks. And we are Penn State. Ohio State, Penn State. Natty, bring it to me. Give it to me.
I gotta go Ohio State, Notre Dame here.
Why? You like old stuff? You like Rudy?
Yeah. Penn State's real fresh.
I'm here for a redemption story, I guess.
I'm here for God. Just a lot of idiot coaches still left in this thing.
Okay, that's a good angle. I'm totally down with Marcus Freeman.
Yeah. I like that guy. I like the cut of his jib.
Yeah. I just
go Burke.
Would Notre Dame be able to get anything done against Ohio State's defense? Anything?
I don't know. I'm done trying to figure out what Ohio State is and can do.
I mean, we know we know their defense is really good. We've known that has been consistent.
I believe Notre Dame's defense is good too.
Yes.
Who's willing to watch a 6-3 big meteor national championship?
I see that is a scenario that I don't want.
Yeah.
No matter who plays in it. I would have very little faith in Notre Dame's ability to do. I mean, they didn't do much against Georgia either.
They did score though.
23. Yeah. Couple of special teams plays that were baked into the cake there. I don't know. I mean, obviously Ohio State. I mean, I'll pull up the odds for the national championship right now. Ohio State minus 140 to win it all, which is pretty staggering at this point, considering there's 2 games left for them to win. Texas plus 450, Notre Dame plus 470, Penn State plus 550. I would take a flyer on Penn State winning the national championship because I think Penn State could beat Ohio State. I don't think Notre Dame could beat Ohio State, and I don't think Texas will beat Ohio State. Right?
God, I could talk myself into anything.
Well, just because they're all big meteors.
Maybe that's it.
So Black Hat usually hears what I say on the radio, and then he immediately opens up his FanDuel app and starts fading me So let's see what he's got.
It's a smart play.
Let's see what he's got cooked up here.
Historically.
He has got exact outcome, Ohio State to defeat Notre Dame plus 1,400.
It's a nice little payday.
It is a nice little payday. John writes in on Twitter.
Hi, John.
Penn State versus Ohio State puke emoji. Josh knows about the puke emoji.
I do. I am of puke.
Yeah. All right. I mean, so one thing we've figured out here is this actually is big meteor situation.
Many are saying, welcome to my side. I've been here.
What do we like? What is the vibe on Ohio State right now? It kind of feels like Ohio State has a weird culty growing fan base around the country. Like, yeah, Ohio State redemption tour. I love this.
Yeah.
There is a little bit
narrative.
That is odd.
Very.
That is odd to me.
Because just every once in a while,
I definitely prefer them to Michigan, but I'm not rooting for them in any capacity outside of that.
Every 3 or 4 weeks, they just kind of, you know what, just really don't feel like moving the ball at all today.
Travis writes in.
Hi, Travis.
OMG, a 6-3 national championship. Keep talking dirty to me. So that's another potential narrative that we haven't come to realize yet. Let's game it out.
Okay.
Ohio State and Penn State, or Ohio State and Notre Dame play in the national championship game. The final score totals 27 points. The final score is 14-13.
Disgusting.
What happens at, around, and near the Gulf of America? What are the noises that are coming out of near the Gulf of America?
Paul, this is a terrible television product.
I told you this would happen.
Ole Miss would have dropped 45 on both of them. Paul.
Totally. God, that would suck.
What?
That would suck.
Yeah, what?
So that's another caveat that we have here. If it's going to be Ohio State, Penn State, or Ohio State, Notre Dame, please go over. Please score in the 30s, both, so SEC fans can say nothing.
I would let's just ratchet the stakes up a little bit. Let's say Ohio State, Penn State meet in the national championship game. And for the good of the conference, the two coaches agree, okay, in the first half, neither of us will try, and we will each allow the other team to score 3 touchdowns. Yep. So it is 21-21 at halftime, and we will play 2 quarters of our best football.
That's a great idea.
With everything on the line.
For the glory of the conference.
That's right.
For the Big Ten.
Mm-hmm. James Franklin, Ryan Day, who says no?
Drew Aller's throwing it deep a little bit. He's handed it off to Singleton. He's doing crazy spin moves, and Ohio State dudes are just like, they're falling over themselves. Whoa! They just let Jeremiah, they can actually try and defend Jeremiah Smith if they wanted to. They just can't, so they'll just throw it deep to him every time. That makes sense. All right. I don't know if we found an answer to this question. Certainly we know what Kenneth wants as a Notre Dame honk. Notre Dame needs its honks, by the way.
Sure.
They need their honks. So I'm glad we have one in the YouTube comments of this show.
They're falling by the wayside with each passing year, so it's important.
Can we all agree that we don't want to see Texas? Well, Kenneth doesn't agree. He wants to see Notre Dame in Texas. If it's Notre Dame in Texas, Notre Dame could win the national championship. If it's Penn State in Texas, Penn State can win the national championship.
Wow.
Frankly, I think Penn State, like I said before, any of those 4 teams that are in the semifinal, big meteor semifinal right now, can win the national championship. But the path becomes a lot more difficult for the teams who are playing on Thursday night if Ohio State wins on Friday night, in my opinion.
They really are the wagon all of a sudden.
I know.
And I know. It's like
Will Howard has made this, he's kind of done this thing where he's rehabilitated his image.
It's that thing you said about the Vikings.
Mm-hmm.
I watched them in a big game and they bleeped the bed.
Yep.
I watched them against Nebraska. I watched them against Michigan.
Yeah, but
I don't think they're that good.
Yeah, but the opposite is true with Ohio State now for 2 weeks in a row. We've watched them in a big game destroy everything in their path. And now that's the closest thing that we can remember.
I was walking around my in-laws' house during the Rose Bowl going, I just can't believe this. This is incredible what they're doing.
Yeah. So I guess the question on who you're going to pick to win the national championship is, do you believe that that's real? No reason to think it's not at this point.
Do I believe a Jekyll and Hyde Ohio State can win a big meteor college football playoff?
Yeah.
Wow.
Kenneth whispers into the YouTube comments, Oregon's defense is a pumpkin.
Ooh.
Yeah,
I love finding a pumpkin.
Josh does love Pumpkin Watch. But like I said, I mean, we still have to get back to reality with a little bit here with Ohio State. I don't think they're going to score 56 points and win the national championship. I think they're going to win the national championship because I think they have the best defense in the country. And they have enough playmakers and skill players on offense to make the difference. Their defense has carried them the entire year. But in order to win a national championship, you have to have your offense has to be a plus, plus, plus. And now it is. And so that's what makes them really scary. But make no mistake about it. They have the best defense. I'm sorry, Kenneth. I know Notre Dame,
Notre Dame, very good defense.
Very good defense. Very
Omaha
good.
Burke's own.
Yep. He's very good. All right.
He's going to have to score a touchdown.
A pick six.
Yeah.
Or a fumble.